I guess we'll start big picture. Um, when someone finds themselves in a situation where they are sexually assaulted or they're a victim of domestic violence or any number of the services that you provide to people in the community, what how can Stand Up Plaster help? What services do you offer?
Sure. So the first thing is, if there is imminent danger, I call 911, right? Get the help that you need. We can respond along with law enforcement to provide services to that person in crisis. And in those situations, services in crisis can look like just holding somebody's hand, right? Just letting them know that it is going to be okay and that they are not alone. And really in those moments, we are there to help create some calm so that law enforcement can do what they need to do on their end. From there, depending on the situation, we can provide emergency housing, especially if it's a situation in which we're trying to get the survivor away, person that is causing the abuse. We can provide emergency housing. For our human trafficking victims, we can provide clothing, just warm, clean clothes. And really, again, once we've gotten through that initial traumatic period, our advocates can sit down with the survivor and talk about in depth the services that might best suit them in their particular situation.
Great, thank you. So a wide spectrum of services offered to people in various situations, women and men. I mean, if men find themselves.
We are here to empower survivors. Domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking is something that doesn't know race, it doesn't know ethnicity, it doesn't know gender, socioeconomic status. It can happen, unfortunately, it can happen to any one of us at any time. So our services are there for the community.
Great. And looking at, and not asking Stand Up Plaster to comment on this particular alleged crime, but just speaking generally, we know that Roseville Police is asking the community if anyone thinks they may have been a victim of this accused, assaulter, the sexual assaulter, to come forward. And so, first, can you just speak to, in any kind of situation where someone is a survivor, is it difficult to come forward and maybe approach law enforcement with your story?
Absolutely. Sexual assault is in a lot of ways, depending on how it presents itself. Sometimes folks can feel like they caused it. Folks can feel like they don't deserve support. And so those are just, a few of the things that can prevent people from coming forward to law enforcement. And never mind, whatever people's feelings or opinions or views or cultural history may be with law enforcement. And so there are a lot of things that can prevent people from coming forward. And all we say is you have to get help. And law enforcement in our community is how we get help. And so in situations of sexual assault, we do say, use us as support in those situations, and allow us to be with you when you come forward to make that report.
So just to reiterate, so I'm hearing this clearly, if someone thinks they might have been a victim of this particular man, but they don't feel comfortable for whatever reason going to law enforcement, they can go to Stand Up Plaster, and then you can work with them to approach police together.
Yes, we certainly can.
Great. That's good to know. That might help someone come forward who might otherwise be hesitant, which ultimately can potentially lead to justice if this man did what
it certainly can.
Yeah. Let's see. In terms of what you know about this case, I mean, just and asking people to come forward, is there anything else that you want to add or mention? I'll just leave it open-ended. Anything else that we haven't, that you want to touch upon?
We are a partner in the community, and we want to make sure that we continue to empower the community and survivors against domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. And one of the ways in which we can do that is by helping to facilitate these conversations, not only around what we can do when sexual assault occurs, but what we can do to be proactive so that it does not occur. So I would encourage folks, if they are having any issues as it relates to domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking, to call our 24-hour crisis line. There is someone always there that will answer the phone, tell them what you need, and they can get you the help.
Great, thank you. And how can folks support Stand Up Placer? I know we've got a big day coming up tomorrow.
We do. Tomorrow's a big day of giving, and we are asking for folks to avail us of some of their resources so that we can continue the work that we do in the community. You can give to Stand Up Placer in our big day of giving, which is happening all day tomorrow. We would truly appreciate your support. And so, what I didn't mention, and I don't know, is that we are connected to other organizations in the community. So even if someone starts with us, if we can refer them out to other services in the community, we can do that as well. So someone doesn't have to feel like we're only going to do one thing. We try to make sure that folks have everything they need.
Great, thank you so much.